It's no longer news that former French colonies in Africa are persistently rebelling against exploitation, persecution, and neo-colonialism, as well as against French policies that are parasitic. The young Africans have decided to act in accordance with the well-known causes of the current and widespread French hatred throughout Africa. One of the new players is Bassirou Diomaye Faye, a 44-year-old pan-Africanist president of Senegal who was sworn in April after winning a democratic election. It was a difficult journey for Faye to become president. From tax inspector to political prisoner, he went through several roles until becoming president of Senegal, where he decided to put the country's citizens first and adopted a sovereign stance. Since Faye took office, there have been rumors that he would join the alliance of Sahel states. These rumors have started turning into a reality. Before we continue, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the new tourist channel to get all updates on Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Also, let us know in the comments what you think of Senegal and its new president. In a recent turn of events, Senegal's new president Bassirou Diomaye Faye began his first visit to Mali and Burkina Faso on Thursday to strengthen ties with these two states, which have quit the regional bloc ECOWAS. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger are all under military rule following coups. These three countries declared in January that they were leaving the Economic Community of West African States, claiming it was influenced by France to form the Alliance of Sahel States, their own regional organization. Faye arrived in Mali's capital on Thursday and proceeded to the presidential palace, where he was scheduled to meet with Colonel Assimi Goïta, the leader of the military government. The Senegalese presidency noted in a statement that these trips are part of an effort to fortify the long-standing bonds of good neighborliness, fraternal brotherhood, solidarity, and diversified cooperation. Faye has traveled around West Africa on multiple occasions since taking office in early April as the youngest elected president of the continent. This Thursday trip was his 10th visit to an African nation since taking office. His choice of countries inside the continent speaks volumes about the importance of strengthening Pan-Africanism and reinvigorating sub-regional integration in his diplomatic priorities. Bear in mind that Faye promised to lead Senegal to sovereignty and liberate the country from Western oppression and exploitation. Many West Africans have been looking at collaborations between Faye and other revolutionary leaders like Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, Assimi Goïta of Mali, and Abdelrahman Chiani of Niger. We have a video on our channel that shows that there was a possibility that Senegal could form a confederation with Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, and here we are. One of Faye's promises was to purge the colonial currency used in West Africa, the CFA franc. This plan falls in line with the plans that Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali had in February when they mentioned that they are making plans to ditch the colonial CFA franc currency. Senegal under outgoing President Macky Sall was a pillar of the long-standing French attempt to remain influential among its former colonies, often named Francafrique. Now newly elected Faye, under the moniker of left Pan-Africanism, has vowed to make his country more sovereign in food, energy, and finance. Never before have the governments of 4 West African countries, including Senegal, one of the region's leaders, been so eager and prepared to break free from the CFA franc's neo-colonial grip. Following World War II, France, the colonial power at the time, established the CFA franc zone. Its goal was to guarantee France a steady supply of inexpensive resources. It is common knowledge that France resisted the coup-led government of Niger because, with the assistance of the former President Bazoum, France was able to profit from the low price of uranium. France purchased uranium from Niger 400% less than what Canada charges for its uranium. How well Senegal plans and implements the switch to multiple new currencies, or a new one without French involvement, will determine whether this endeavor and the country's ambition for a national currency amount to a complete dissolution of the CFA franc zone and its ultimate demise. Many people were hoping that Senegal's newly elected president would work with Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso and other Sahelian politicians. This trip now reassures their hopes. Note that Burkina Faso's captain, Ibrahim Traore, congratulated President Bassirou Diomaye Faye when he took power, praising him as the embodiment of a new age for an unrestrained, independent, and sovereign Africa. Captain Ibrahim Traore paid tribute to the recently appointed president during his comments, describing him as a force for transformation across the continent. Traore emphasized the significance of strong and visionary leadership for the liberation and advancement of Africa by referring to it as a symbol of an unrestrained, free, and sovereign Africa. Further demonstrating his dedication to positive African-to-African cooperation, which is necessary to further shared interests and tackle regional and global challenges, the head of the Burkinabe military regime declared his willingness to work with Bassirou Diomaye Faye to revitalize sub-regional and international cooperation. This declaration emphasizes the significance of regional cooperation and ties within the African continent to advance peace, stability, and prosperity on the continent. It also emphasizes how important it is for the new African leaders to take the lead in changing their nations and the continent. Ibrahim Traore's words reflect the hope and optimism for a better future for Africa, embodied by the presidency of Bassirou Diomaye Faye. They demonstrate the desire for cooperation and partnership between African nations to address common challenges and realize the full potential of the continent. Note that when Faye discussed with Colonel Assimi Goïta on Thursday, he said he understood the Malian position, which, although rigid, was not totally inflexible. He said all parties must work together to find positive means of strengthening integration, including through bilateral cooperation, but also by trying to correct the blunders that they have noted in multilateral cooperation. But we cannot resign ourselves to watching a tool for integration that was formidable in its conception, in the results it has brought us, and which has been held up as an example to disintegrate without doing anything, Faye said. In a conversation that lasted about an hour, Faye also discussed issues of security, terrorism, and the fight against cross-border crime with Goïta. Since 2013, Senegal has deployed troops in Mali as part of peacekeeping missions, both with an African mission and as part of the United Nations Mission for the Stabilization of the Country, MINUSMA, to fortify the long-standing bonds of good neighborliness and sociocultural blending between Senegal and its neighbors. Faye also visited Guinea-Bissau last month for a working and friendly visit. Senegal and Guinea-Bissau enjoy close cooperation in virtually all areas, from security and culture to the highly strategic fisheries sector. Fisheries remains one of the major areas of cooperation between the two countries. Since December 1978, they have been linked by a convention on maritime fisheries. The application protocol signed in February 2022 in Dakar was evaluated and renewed in February 2024. Senegal and Guinea-Bissau have embarked on a project to improve the corridor linking their two capitals, supported by the African Development Bank, in the spirit of good neighborliness and African integration. Note that as all this is going on, Niger has extended an olive branch to the economic community of West African states. Ali Mohamed Lamine Zain, the Prime Minister of Niger, has extended an invitation to all ECOWAS nations to become members of the Alliance of Sahel States, which appears to be developing. This invite follows ECOWAS's stated intention to bring the AES countries back to the West African bloc. Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali broke away from the ECOWAS in September 2023 to join the Coalition of Sahel States, a regional coalition. They carried out this action to strengthen their collective security protocols and promote socioeconomic development among their people. They also took this action despite the sanctions that ECOWAS had imposed on Niger. Niger has decided to push for ECOWAS countries to join the alliance, despite the conflicts that had resulted in the organization of the group. The minister extended the invitation at the annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the African Development Bank in Nairobi, Kenya. I can't be too provocative, but I want to ask ECOWAS to join the AES. There are ECOWAS countries that would probably want to join the AES because the culture of sovereignty and dignity of the continent exists within the alliance, Zain said. This invitation comes in response to calls from Ghana and Nigeria for Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye to back the ECOWAS's plan to bring Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso back together. The ECOWAS Parliament plans to form an ad hoc mediation committee to facilitate the reunification of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso within the bloc. Whatever the case, a momentous milestone in regional diplomacy and collaboration was reached with Senegalese leader Faye's historic visit to Mali and Burkina Faso. Not only has this visit improved Senegal's bilateral relations with these two neighbors, but it has also established a favorable precedent for future cooperation in the West African region. The leaders in these countries have reaffirmed their commitment to cooperating to confront shared issues such as poverty, terrorism, and instability in the area. President Faye's first trip to Burkina Faso and Mali has set the groundwork for a new phase of regional partnership and cooperation in West Africa. The fact that these countries are willing to cooperate for the benefit of their citizens and the development of the entire area is demonstrated by their visit. We may anticipate a future of shared wealth, peace, and stability in West Africa as Senegal, Mali, and Burkina Faso continue to strengthen their links. In your opinion, will Senegal fully join the alliance of Sahel states or decide to strengthen ties with ECOWAS? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.